How fortunate.
Oh, wait, what?
Let's just pause out.
Let's go down and we'll ask them to do it again.
Oh no.
Okay. All right, folks, it's all yours.
Man, I love Algonquin.
Did you hear the story about the boy who got lost in the dark?
Yeah, I heard they only found a leg.
Or was it a finger? How do you get a finger and a leg mixed up, stupid?
Quit these pretentious talks. Some Asian Toscan this way walks. After the sun sets in front of his eyes, the one's hopeful mind says its goodbyes, and the safety and security of where the light lies. And being disheartened, he ponders and sighs.
How am I going to get myself out of this one?
Poor young Ernito, you should have done the pre-hike. Now deserted, left behind, your group out of sight. Wandering through mazes, perplexed in the dark, surrounded by horrors, beasts, and the savage shark.
Whoa, calm down, it's just me, Socrates.
Thank God I found you. Man, I'm kind of lost. What was that? Man, I think I'm seeing things. I wish my flashlight was brighter. Anything could happen right now. I mean, a wolf could come out and take a bite out of my leg, and I wouldn't be able to see it coming.
Well, I can see just fine. What's impossible is trying to see me shine that light in my eyes. Could you turn it off?
But how am I supposed to be prepared for what I can't see? I mean, anything could happen right now. Like, without the flashlight, it's completely dark. But with it, I can see at least a little bit of light. And I wouldn't be able to react in time if anything happened. I mean, I could sprain an ankle, break a leg, or worse, ruin these designer jeans.
With the campsite lost, this is all he knows. It shows the way, this luminous glow. Finding his way back to the van. What is love? He's scared of the dark. What a man. He needs his light to guide his way. In it, his comfort, his refuge from dismay.
So, what were you doing earlier today?
Well, I was hiking.
In this forest?
Yeah, this exact same one.
And were you scared?
No, but it was light out.
And has the forest changed now that there's no light?
Well, I guess not, but it's still a lot more scary.
Has the forest changed? What senses you lack? Of course it has. It's now pitch black.
Well, shine your light over there. What do you see?
I see a tree.
What do you see?
Well, I see a rock.
And are you scared of a tree or a rock?
Well, I guess not.
Then what are you scared of?
Well, things I can't see.
Doesn't seem like your flashlight's helping you much. I mean, you can see the trees and the rocks, but you're still afraid of the stuff you can't see. Maybe the forest isn't as bad as you think.
Yeah, I guess so, but it's still super scary. I mean, Mr. Van Bemmel told me that the bears are gonna eat me.
Bears, bears, barbaric brown bears, with growls, teeth, and claws that scare. Bears, bears that lurk in these woods, to terrorize your campsite and steal all your goods.
Have you ever actually seen a bear?
No.
Well, maybe they're not as scary as you imagine.
What do you mean?
Well, you've done lots of things that used to be scary, like, have you ever ridden a bike?
Yeah.
Oh, but the first time you tried, you were terrified.
I guess I was just a little bit scared.
Yeah, it makes sense, because it's a big, unknown, intimidating, but you probably, as you got better at it, became a source of fun and excitement, not a source of fear.
Yeah, I guess.
And did you fall a couple times, maybe scrape your knee when you tried?
Yeah, well, falling's just part of the process, right?
Except if you could go back in time, would you still learn how to ride a bike?
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
Well, even if you knew you were going to get a couple scrapes?
Yeah, well, learning to ride a bike was one of my biggest achievements.
You suck.
All right, so you're saying that learning is just worth a couple scrapes. It's worth something.
Though learning is a wearisome route, has a point that's beyond a doubt. The mysterious knowledge that we gain is worth all trouble, stress, and pain.
But I still don't understand why we have to walk in the dark.
Do you know what a worm is, Ernito?
Well, of course, like who doesn't? It's a creature in the phylum Annelida.
Well, you're right, but you're also wrong.
What? How could it be right and wrong at the same time?
Well, in physics, you remember when Mr. Van Bemmel was talking about worms? He meant the gears that give a mechanical advantage, not the slimy bugs on the ground. Because if you want to sit at the grown-ups table, you gotta know what the words mean. Your interpretation depends on your frame of mind, your perspective. When Mr. Van Bemmel explained it to you, you accepted it without a second thought, even though a worm wasn't just a worm anymore.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't that big of a deal.
With his verbal twist comes another view, out of the mist and into the new.
You learn all these new concepts and things every day, but you're holding on to this flashlight so stubbornly. You can't just take get a new perspective.
Well, it's still light, and I still feel safer.
So think of a mosquito bite. You can itch and itch and itch, and that will help you in the short term, but if you eventually want to get it to heal, you'll have to stop itching.
I guess so, but it still feels so much better this way.
So we've established that to learn something and to understand it, you have to have a new perspective, right?
Yeah, I guess we did. But I'm still not going to turn off this light. I mean, even if I shine it in front of me, I have a little bit of space. And I feel a lot safer. But without it, everything else is completely dark, and I don't have this space.
Knowing for sure is what we prefer.
For there's nothing in the dark that is worth the spark.
Knowing for sure is what we prefer.
So pretend you want to trip.
Yes!
Calm down. They gave you two options. You could either go to Italy for 6 months, or you could go to every country in Europe and backpack across and you could visit each for 2 weeks. Which would you choose?
Well, backpacking across Europe, of course.
How come?
Well, the decision's pretty simple. If you go to Italy, you only get to see Italy. But if you go backpacking across Europe, you get to see everything. You get to see more things.
So you're saying that a broader perspective is better than a really tiny focus, even if it's less detailed?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Exactly.
What?
Well, your flashlight's this small little focus, but you just said you wanted a larger view.
Everything finally makes sense. That light is not a defense. It gives you a view that's selective, instead of a wider perspective.
Oh, not again.
Look around you, Ernito.
We are the forest once shaped from your thoughts.
Your
Now judgment is clear from the fears you first brought.
So, save some batteries. Get a new perspective.
I see.
Really? Your light's still on.
Well, I see. Wait, in this case, there's really no difference. For me to see my way out, I would have to see that my flashlight here is useless. See? I do see.
Alright, let's get out of here.
Sometimes I wonder if the world is so small that we can go round and see nothing at all. Living in the light is not what we should do, because life in the dark is nothing but true. So broaden your perspective and widen your sights. The dark ain't so bad, so turn off the lights!